Hello guys, it's me, Greed here. Today I want to talk about the best parts of Overwatch. A lot of people say I only complain, and that's true. And that's because let's say I made a video, right, and I was like, oh, we all universally agree that we like this thing. It's like that doesn't create discussion. But if I'm like, yo, this hero that no one talks about is broken in AIDS and I don't like it, then everyone's like, oh, you're just a complainer. But then everyone starts going, wait a minute, I didn't think about it like that. Oh, maybe, oh, wait, you know what, he's right. He is right, I don't like that. Or maybe they're like, no, he's wrong. No, he's wrong because of this and this and this, and these are good things, right? And then it creates discussion where eventually we'll get to at least a general consensus where like, yeah, this is good or this is bad, or maybe we'll agree to disagree or whatever. But that's why I tend to talk about the negative, because that creates discussion, and hopefully discussion creates change. I thought that was obvious, but apparently it is not. Anyway, on to the things that I like about Overwatch, and I think Overwatch has gotten much better at as time has gone on. And we'll start with the biggest thing, which I think Overwatch has always been very good at, but especially going into Overwatch 2 got better at, which is sound design. The sound design in this game is, in my opinion, perfect. I think you cannot get much better than this. The way Overwatch does its sound is incredible. I'm going to play a little clip, okay, where it's nothing but the audio, and I guarantee if you've got a lot of time in this game, or even just a bit of time in this game, you'll be able to know generally what's going on purely based just off the sound. You can be able to know what cooldowns are getting used, you're going to know what ults are getting used, where people are, you're going to know what's going on. It's incredible. Just listen.
Keep you healed. I'm under attack. The pain. I appreciate the support.
You should be at peak performance level. I could use some assistance.
Objective lost.
Now that is unreal. Now I think the majority of people here watching this got a pretty good idea what was going on. You heard the monkey diving, you heard the Doom in our backline, you heard me hit a sleep, you heard me hit a nade, you heard our Mercy healing me and then damage boosting a different target, you could hear the Widow shooting from a while away, you could hear their Bastion, you could hear my teammates running around me. It was very clear what was going on in that clip, and I deliberately chose a clip that was where Doomfist was making a shitload of noise near me, so that the other noises were harder to hear, and yet you could still hear what was going on around you, right? That's the beauty of the sound design in this game. I picked the worst case scenario for the audio, where all you could really hear, or all you really think you would hear, is the Doom diving me, yet through all of that, you could actually hear what was going on. You could tell my teammates needed help, you could tell like what my Reinhardt was doing, you could tell my Orisa dying, you could hear her getting hurt, you could hear my Mercy healing me, you could hear all of it, even with the Doom making shitloads of noise, which is incredible. I can't think of a single other game I've ever played, and I glaze Counter-Strike a lot, and not even Counter-Strike can do this good. There is no game on planet Earth, I don't think, that's able to make an audio system this clear. The footsteps are clear, the gunshots are clear, the cooldowns, the ults are clear, the footsteps are clear. All of it is so clear. Even when it's all layered on top of each other, it's all dissectable. You can hear everything all the time. It's incredible. I've never in my life played a game that was able to make the audio be so cluttered like it is, yet so concise and so clear at the same time. And I think that is Overwatch's strongest suit by far. I think out of every game on planet Earth, Overwatch does it best, right? And I'm pretty sure everyone can agree how good Overwatch's sound design is. Another thing is, going into Overwatch 2, the mass amount of heroes they've added to the other roles was great. They made a rule where they were saying they're going to try adding more tanks and more supports before they start adding DPS, because there are so many DPS, and they've done a great job on that. A big problem with Overwatch 1 was that Not a lot of players wanted to play support or tank sometimes because your variety was... You didn't really have much. For example, if you were playing tank, you wanted to play main tank, and you wanted to play like a brawl tank, you kind of had to go, well, I guess I can play Reinhardt to brawl, or... I mean, that's kind of it. That's really the only main tank, brawl tank that you had. But now in Overwatch 2, you can go Doomfist in brawl, you can go Ramatra in brawl, you can go Junker Queen, you can go Reinhardt, you can go Mauga. You want to poke, you can go Mauga, Sigma, Ram. You wanna play some bunker comps, you can play some bunker comps, you can play Sigma in it, you can play a reset in it. There's so many options now, especially for tank and support, which is really, really good. I will say, I think the majority of the reason that Overwatch 1 struggled with tank population so much was the lack of variety. You didn't really have a lot of options, like I explained before. But it wasn't just a case of lack of options either. It was that the lack of options were also boring. Do you know what I mean? Like, after a certain amount of time, obviously there are people that just love playing Reinhardt. I love playing Reinhardt, and I can play Reinhardt forever. But the majority of the player base don't think like that. A lot of them will play 2 or 3 games on Ryan and go, I'm not really feeling that. I want to play something else. But I want to keep my playstyle. You know, I want to keep brawling. But you didn't really have an option like that. Well, now it's like, oh, I want to play some Reinhardt, and maybe I'll play some Junker Queen this game, and then maybe I'll play some Mauga, and then maybe I'll play some Ram, and you have so many options now, whereas before you didn't. So that's a huge improvement. Now, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the design choices they've made, or a lot of the balance choices. Like, for example, Ramatra. I love playing Ramatra. Ramatra, it's probably my second favorite tank in the game to play behind Zarya. I absolutely love playing Ramatra. But even I know, as someone that plays so much Ram, pressing left shift and just generating like 300, 400 armor or whatever it is absolutely absurd. It's not fair. I understand why it's like that, because if you press Nemesis form and then all of a sudden you got 400 unhealed HP, it'd feel kind of weird. You wouldn't feel like... You'd feel like you'd pop. You'd have to use Nemesis form and then wait to get a heal before you could like walk in. But I feel that it's too abusable, where you can go extremely aggressive with the staff form, and then pop your Nemesis form once you're in danger, get all the armor, like the 300 armor, and you get to hold up your block with the damage resist, and I think it's just way too much. So I think to me, they could either keep the armor health when you go into Nemesis form, but remove the block, or keep the block, but get rid of the armor when you go Nemesis form. Like, don't get it immediately. Make it so you have to, I don't know, get healed up. Or maybe, let's say, it's like, based on your percentage of health you've got. So if you've got half HP and you pop Nemesis form, you only get half the armor. Something like that, right? So you can't just use it as a, oh shit, I'm in danger, press the button ability. I think that's kind of boring. And I think the majority of the people that play against Ramatra find that kind of boring as well, considering he's got the highest heal efficiency in the whole game, because he's got all the armor and all the damage resist. It makes it so healing a Ram is insanely easy and very efficient, because he can be getting shot by 6 players, and one Ana can kind of heal through all of that if the Ram is blocking in Nemesis form, which I don't really agree with. And then there's other things, like I don't really like Junker Queen Shout giving overhealth. I get why it does it in 5v5 or whatever, but even then, I don't like it. I don't like free value. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want there to be some kind of trade-off with it, or some kind of utility that you use for a specific reason. But I think Junker Queen's Shout just has too many... Not necessarily too many use cases, but more so that it just doesn't feel good to be fighting someone and then have a Junker Queen pop Shout like a couple of meters in front of you, and the Ana in the backline just gets like 50 overhealth or something. It just doesn't really feel very interactive or very good. It's very just push the button, get the ability, you know, and get the overhealth. I much prefer if you just push the button, get the speed. I'd like the speed to last longer or whatever as a compensation, absolutely. Or make it so she gains more self-heal when she shouts, or I don't know, just something like that. Something more interesting than, oh, you just get some overhealth. It's like a very blanket solution to the problem that I think Junker Queen has. And, you know, a lot of characters have these issues, but I'd still rather have the variety than in Overwatch 1, where you didn't really have a lot of choices if you wanted to play the other roles, which it is what it is. Also, DPS passive is getting buffed to 30% in Season 17, which here's the thing. if they're gonna keep the passives, I agree with the change because it's gonna make sustain characters better. It's gonna make soldier better. It's gonna make tracer better. It's gonna make a lot of characters better that I can't think of really. But generally speaking, yeah, it's gonna make DPS better. It's gonna make the burst damage. It's not gonna help the burst damage characters that much, but it's gonna help the sustain heroes a lot. Which is good. I like that. Now, I don't like passives in general. Everyone knows I don't like passives. And I think the real solution would to be dump all the passives and just return to regular Overwatch, you know? Get rid of the healing passive, DPS passive, lower the healing numbers, bring the range back for the characters, bring the health down, make people more killable, and so on. You know what I mean? And I think that'd be a better solution to the game, honestly. Anyway, I love you all. I just wanted to go over some of the things I really like about Overwatch and touch on some of the things that I don't like as well, because some people say I'm overly negative. I also wanted to explain at the start of the video why I'm negative, because it wouldn't make sense for me to be ultra positive every video, if you know what I mean, because it doesn't, like, if I'm just like bootlicking and glazing, it's like, what does that achieve, you know? But when I make a video and then it gets 10,000 views or whatever, and then all of a sudden people are talking, hey, you know, it's been a while since we talked about this character, like maybe this character is a little outdated and we need to change it, you know what I mean? And I think those discussions are more valuable than glazing. Obviously, credit where credit is due to Overwatch, but I would still rather talk about things that create discussion about the game. I want the game to get better. The game doesn't get better if I just sit and glaze all day. The game might get better if I point out all of its problems, though, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I love you all. Have a good day. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.